What's up, YouTube? There's a segment of drivers that exist out there that we never talk about. We never give the proper, in my opinion, we don't give the proper amount of recognition to these very brave souls who come into an already dangerous industry with a certain amount of courage that they're just equipped with. Hopefully all of us would stand up to that task if it ever faced us. But I'm talking about the highway angels, the men and women who perform acts of bravery out on the road, that they don't necessarily have to put themselves in that position to help others. They exemplify what it is to be a hero, to be honest with you, and they're unsung, in my opinion. In the industry, there's magazines in the truck stops that we can read about their stories, or you can go on to different, trucker news websites and hear about them, which is a great thing. But I don't think they get enough credit for what they do, honestly. A lot of these men and women, they put themselves in harm's way for the sake of what's right, something that they're just naturally equipped with, and they should be highlighted and talked about and congratulated and thanked for what they do. I have 5 examples of highway angels. Some of the most recent highway angel events that have happened around the country. The first one happened in New York. It was on I-81. A driver witnessed a father with his daughter and son hit a concrete embankment up off of I-81. I think it was around exit 1. If you've ever been up in that area, it's about probably 20-30 miles from Newburgh, where that pilot is, off of I believe it's exit 3 right there off I-81, coming out of Connecticut right there. He saw this happen. He parked his truck. He went down the embankment. He helped the father and the daughter to exit the vehicle. And then he went back with the assistance of another driver to help the young boy who was still stuck in the car. Long story short, and the young boy ended up passing on. But had it not been for the bravery of that driver, it could have been a lot worse of a situation. So thank you for your bravery and what you do for this nation whenever the time is called for to action, and basically show that you care. Thank you. The second example happened in Maryland off of I-70. So a truck driver, this was the stretch between Baltimore and I-81 up there in Maryland. If you've ever been in that stretch of that highway, then it can get pretty congested. I believe it was in the morning hours. A driver is driving past a woman whose car from the bottom is on fire, and he can see that in his rearview mirror that her car is in flames from the bottom. She doesn't know that it's on fire. He pulls over to the side of the road, jumps out of his truck, gets his fire extinguisher from his truck, and runs back, instructs the lady to get out of the car, and he puts the fire out. And waits with her, of course, until paramedics and emergency personnel gets there to basically take over. So thank you for your brave actions, sir, for all you do. We appreciate it. And on I-35 in Oklahoma, a driver trainer was training a tanker driver. They're coming up whatever road they were on in Oklahoma, and they witnessed a truck that had been overturned. It was rolled over. Inside the truck was a grandfather with his grandson. The driver went up to the truck. He extracted both the grandfather and the grandson from the wreckage, and they waited, of course, for personnel to get there. I mean, these are just examples of people that do things that deserve recognition for this. Not that they're looking for it at all. These guys are brave souls who my hat's off to them constantly. I've always had such admiration for these guys because they exemplify what it is to truly be a hero, So thank you for all you do. The fourth example I'll give you, and these are recent things that have happened. On I-10 in Arizona, a driver got two elderly people out of a car that had just been hit by a hit-and-run driver. So this happened, I believe, at like 1:30 in the morning. A driver was driving down I-10 close to Winslow, Arizona over there, and he came up on, there was very little traffic out on the road. He comes up on clothes scattered all across the freeway, and figured there had to be something wrong. I mean, just it was very out of place for there to be clothes on the interstate at that time in the morning, just, you know, how they were positioned. And so he parks his truck, he walks back to where the clothes were, and he looks down into the embankment, and he could barely make out the headlights of the truck that was overturned. And, you know, the lights had dimmed because of the accident. And he goes down and he extracts the husband, helps the husband to get out. And the wife was trapped in the wreckage, so they waited for emergency personnel to get there and to extract the woman. Both of the elderly people were okay. Glad to hear that. But the guy who struck them and attempted to run, he only made it about 1.5 miles, 2 miles down the road, because the front end of his vehicle was so torn up that he had to pull off. And so they basically followed the tracks of this idiot who just tried to kill these two old people pretty much and run off after he did it. They found him and they apprehended him and put him in jail, and he deserves what's coming to him for that, because it's horrible. The last story happened outside of Lubbock, Texas. This was a driver who had just picked up a load in Lubbock, Texas, and he was headed to his destination, and he witnessed a family in a Suburban get struck by a guy who decides to run a red light. So he helped all those people get out of the wreckage, waited for emergency personnel to get there, and did his job. And you know, I'll tell you, man, just, you know, I think about my mother, I think about my wife, everybody in my family that means a lot to me. I think about them, and, you know, to have people out on the road who would risk their own lives to help a loved one or to help someone in trouble, you know, it just, there's not enough thank yous that you can say to people like that. So, and you know, these people come equipped with this type of bravery. Is not something you develop from being, you know, in an industry for a long time. You don't become a hero. You don't become a highway angel. You're born a highway angel. And they just happen to become truck drivers. So thank you so much, all the men and women who have helped countless people that they didn't have to help. You know, they interject themselves into a situation that could turn ugly, that could potentially hurt them or put their lives in danger, and they go forward with the mission of helping another person because they know that that's the right thing to do. So thank you so much for all you guys do. It's much appreciated in this great nation. Yeah, I just felt that, you know, posting a short video just highlighting the bravery of these people was needed. And I honestly, I think that there should be more of a spotlight on men and women who do this. I mean, our industry is already so very dangerous, and then to have these people willingly, you know, put themselves in harm's way for the sake of a total stranger says a lot about the people that make up the trucking industry. So hats off and salutes to all you men and women who do such a great job, and we appreciate it. This is Iron Will with Big Will's Corner, and we'll see you next time. Thanks.